Hey everybody, Sean here from the Black Page, and I'm sitting in the studio of a good friend of mine, Ydna Murd. Ydna?
Nice to meet you,
Good to
Sean.
see you, man.
Thanks for coming on.
Ydna is based in my hometown. We're in Victoria, BC, the home of the Black Page, and the YouTube phenom that he is. In his humble little abode, he creates all kinds of incredible beats and drum and bass, and is a very well-respected teacher in the area and performer as well. Now, I heard through a friend of ours, you're classically trained. Is that correct?
No.
Not correct.
No.
You grew up in Germany.
I grew up in Germany, but I am not classical trained. I started at the age of 12.
Yep.
My brother was into playing bass.
Right.
He was playing bass for maybe a year, 2 years maybe, and then he went over to my room and said, "I need a drummer."
Nice.
I was like, okay, I think I can do that. I had some money saved, did the paper route thing.
Yeah.
Had lots of money saved, and then we wanted to go and buy a drum kit.
Excellent.
And then my parents said, "No way, no way you're putting a drum kit in our house."
Right.
And it took me over a year. Kept bugging them.
Right.
They wouldn't allow it, and then after a year, we said we're just gonna go and buy a
Nice.
kit,
Nice.
set it up, and they weren't too happy with that. But
Yeah.
that's how it all started.
How it all started.
Yeah.
Cool. And then, so you went to school in Germany for drums, or was it for music in general?
Yeah, that was later. That was for drums. That came later. So I grew up in southern Germany.
Okay.
There wasn't anything happening in the area there.
Right.
I actually wanted to get drum lessons somewhere.
Right.
And there was one guy, and he offered drum lessons. I went there, and it was awful.
Sorry, my friend, whoever you are.
Well, he had this huge drum kit, and I went to his space. I was pretty impressed, and I had this old record player and a Scorpions.
Oh, nice.
Record,
Yeah.
okay.
Herman Rarebell.
So he said, "Okay, sit down," and then he put on the record, and then he went upstairs. I was like, "Okay." So I just played along to Scorpions.
Wow.
45 minutes later, he came down again. He said, "Okay, that's it." So I paid him, and I left. And I was like, "What the heck?"
Wow.
Next lesson, exactly the same thing, same record. And then I decided, I went there I think 3 times, and I said, "That's not worth the money, so
Yeah,
I can
no.
do that at home."
Yeah, exactly.
And so I'm actually basically self-taught.
Oh, okay.
Because, like I said, I couldn't find any teacher, and I bought this one drum book and just kept studying with the book and
Yeah.
played along to a lot of records, or just put on the radio station and played along with music,
Right.
and also jammed a lot with my brother.
With your brother, yeah.
Yeah.
Which that would be the best teacher in and of itself, is playing with people.
Yeah, yeah, and that was, back then there wasn't many things around to distract us much,
Yeah.
We had no computers, no
Yeah.
cell phones, nothing,
Yeah.
no video games.
Yeah.
So we came back after school, and we jammed like for 2-3
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah. Does your brother still play?
He switched to guitar
Yeah.
many years ago.
Great.
But
And
he still plays.
He's in Germany or Canada?
He's in Germany. Yeah,
Germany,
he's not a professional musician, but he plays. Yeah.
Great, yeah.
Mhm.
What drew you to? I mean, you're very well known for your drum and bass, and very, very, very good at it. What drew you to that specific genre of drumming style? I know you can play other styles, but
Yeah.
that's kind of one you focused on a lot. What drew you to that, and what kind of keeps you going and creative in that realm?
Yeah, I think if I look back at the music I liked, it was always a bit like cutting edge music.
Right.
Like I never really listened to mainstream music.
Right.
Uh, the first record I've ever listened to and bought was Einstürzende Neubauten.
Okay.
Do you know these guys?
No.
From Berlin.
I don't know if I could even say that again.
Yeah, it's a German name.
Yeah.
That was really experimental stuff. Like
Right.
they had like shopping carts and trash cans.
Oh,
and
cool.
You should actually
Yeah.
check them out on YouTube. Very
Yeah.
interesting. They're still touring.
Wow.
Well
Interesting.
known in Germany. So I always like kind of like the weird stuff.
Yep.
Weird underground music.
Yep.
And then I grew up with punk music.
Yeah.
That's definitely my roots.
Yeah.
And then new wave music.
New wave.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it was always underground music I liked. I mean, like you said, I played lots of other styles too. When I started making a living with, drums, being
Right.
a drummer, I did basically everything you
Yeah.
can do
Yeah.
to pay the bills. Top 40
Yeah.
and Irish folk and,
Yeah.
and jazz.
Awesome.
I mean, jazz didn't really pay the bills, but I
Yeah.
did it anyways because it was fun. And yeah, but kind of like the underground scene was always the thing that really excited me.
Right.
And then when I mean, drum and bass kind of came out in the mid 90s,
Yeah.
90,
Yeah.
95. And there was actually one moment, like I was on tour in Germany with a hip hop band.
Okay.
We were touring. Was a little bit like the Warp Tour, like there were 4 or 5 bands in a bus, and we just went to cities and
Yeah.
played. And at this, I think it was Freiburg, Germany, we arrived in the middle of the night with the bus, and I think it was too late or something to check into the hotel or something. So we went to this nightclub, and there was a big rave going on there.
Okay.
And we arrived. I went in and I was just saying, "Yeah, what the heck is that?" Like the music was loud. It was intense.
Yeah.
It had the bass.
Yeah.
going. And I was just bobbing my head and listening and watching. I thought, this is awesome. I have to
Wow.
look into that.
Yeah.
It wasn't drum and bass back then, but the whole electronic dance music thing that caught me like right away, like early techno, and the Prodigy was a huge
Oh, yeah.
influence.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
a huge fan of the Prodigy, and trip hop too. I spent a lot of time with trip hop,
Right.
like
Yeah.
performing and producing trip hop.
Right.
music.
So now, when you perform, you're performing to tracks, or you're playing with a band.
No, I perform. I mean, I started my solo project like three years ago.
Yeah.
Before that, I performed with bands,
Yeah.
but now it's just me on stage.
Yep.
I got this set up with the, maybe you can see in the background. I got my laptop running with Ableton Live,
Right.
an APC DJ controller,
Yep.
and an SPD SX sampling pad.
Okay.
And what like my setup is, like with that controller, I have all the tracks separate.
Right.
So I'm not just playing along to one backing track. I'm in full charge of the whole thing.
Right.
I got the bass lines, percussion lines, music, guitar lines, the vocals, everything separate.
Yeah.
So when I perform, I actually produce, mix, and arrange live on stage,
Nice.
and that is really exciting. It's
Yeah.
actually the most exciting thing I've did in my career.
Yeah.
Mm.
and challenging, I would imagine.
It's very challenging. Yeah. It's yeah. If I look back at gigs I did in the past where I was just the drummer in the band, I look back and I'm like, wow, that must have been so easy back
Just
then.
had to drum.
Because now it's like, yeah, I have to be 100% focused the
Yeah.
entire time.
Yeah.
I can't just let go and
No.
groove. It's
And so now, do you write the tracks, or are these tracks? Yeah.
yeah,
You
I produce everything.
and you play the instruments and.
Well, I use sample packs too,
Okay.
like,
Yeah.
prepared sounds, bass loops. It's I try to keep it a mix
Yeah.
of. I mean, I do play piano, bass guitar, and guitars, So I try to bring that into.
Right.
Try to keep it in a mix of maybe 50-50.
Right.
Keep it balanced.
Yeah. Now your influence with other instruments, that obviously would have come from your brother, and or growing up and establishing yourself as a drummer. What? How did you? How did you start? Sort of. I know. I myself. I play a little piano, a little bass. What was the process for you to go from behind the kit and say, I want to try this or I want to try that? What inspired you to do that?
Yeah, I think I was always interested in recording, like in producing my own music. I think I was 14 when we got this 4-track cassette.
Right.
I think a Tascam or something.
Yeah.
Like that. It didn't sound that great, but
right.
it was easy to handle, and so I would lay down a drum track and then rewind the tape,
right,
and then play bass along to that, add guitar, and then do the ping pong thing. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
like bouncing
exactly.
everything on one track
to one, and so then you could do more.
You get worse and worse quality until it's like really bad at the end. So I would experiment a lot with that. Like I mentioned earlier, there wasn't really much else to do, and it was just like I have here. We had our room in the basement, and I just loved spending time after school doing it.
Record. Do you prefer I'm sure you prefer each, but for you at the end of the day, do you prefer being in here creating, or do you prefer the ambience of the stage and the excitement of the stage?
That's a difficult question. I mean, I really like to perform, to play. Yeah. I'm really excited about my gigs.
Right.
Just because I mean, it's dance music, and I have to say I'm sometimes when I play I get this feeling of like being extremely proud of myself.
Yeah.
Not because of what I played, but just being there on stage and the dance floor is full,
right,
and people are just having a great time, and there's dancing going on, and then I look around and I'm like, there's nobody else on stage. It's just me. It's a really awesome feeling.
Yeah.
I like I mentioned earlier, I played in a lot of bands, funk and top 40, all these kind of things. And I always enjoyed those gigs when the dance floor was full.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I prefer that a lot over gigs where people are just sitting and watching.
Right.
That really makes me nervous nowadays.
Really? Eh?
Yeah, I'm not used to that anymore.
Well, it makes sense. I can relate to that, and I find it, especially if you're playing with someone who's an independent artist. It's maybe not necessarily a dance band, but a little more mellow. And it's a little weird to have people just staring at you versus the energy that comes off of the dance floor. Yeah,
it's not. I think with music, it's not supposed to be like that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with jazz too. If you look at those old tapes, like early jazz, 50s, 60s, when it was like really hot, or even a bit further back, people were dancing like crazy.
Yeah, that's right.
But nowadays you go and what are people doing? They're usually eating dinner. It's weird. Like music is not supposed to be like that.
Yeah,
like you don't want to sit there and just watch. You want to. It should inspire you to
exactly
to move your body.
Yeah. Who in sort of along that line, who inspires you, who influences you nowadays when you you watch, say, YouTube, and especially you have your own YouTube channel? Who are the drummers that are sort of inspiring you nowadays that you or musicians for that matter?
That's a good question. Through my YouTube channel I get tons and tons of comments every day, and very often I hear or read that people think that Jojo Mayer would be my main influence.
Right.
I mean, he's an awesome drummer. We all know that.
And we would assume that.
Oh yeah, I love his drumming. But that's actually not the case.
Right.
My main influence to start this solo project was a drummer based out of Seattle.
Oh.
His name is KJ Safka.
Okay.
You haven't heard?
I've heard the name, but I'm not super familiar with him.
Yeah, I saw some videos on YouTube, early YouTube,
Yeah.
and I was just totally intrigued and inspired, and I said, "Wow, that's so cool!" Like same thing. Like he filled the dance floor. He was having super fun
Yeah.
with his. Like early in the days, it was mostly drum and bass.
Right.
Nowadays, he switched a little bit into dubstep and
Right.
some other subgenres. He was definitely the big influence.
Wow.
For me to start.
Interesting. And have you met him? Have you connected with him at all?
No, not yet. No,
No. He doesn't.
I would
know.
love to. Yeah,
Yeah.
but he's very busy here. Well, it's like so many other guys on YouTube. He's one of those guys who had some impact with his YouTube videos.
Yeah.
And I don't know the exact story, but he got the gig with Pendulum.
Okay. Yep.
Do you know them?
Know them. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was touring with Pendulum.
Okay.
For, maybe 2 years or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he moved to England.
Okay.
As far as I know, he's still living there.
Still living there.
So I haven't had the chance
Yeah.
to meet him, but I would love to.
Someday.
If you see
Someday.
that.
You guys could do it. Have you played much with other drummers? I know you were just before we were chatting today. I saw one of your Facebook updates was you were rehearsing for a gig with someone. Can we talk about that?
Maybe it's a little bit too early to talk about that.
Okay, all right.
But it's not going to be a gig. It's going to be crossing the Atlantic Ocean project.
Nice.
With a well-known drummer. And
Excellent.
I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Down the line, we'll let you know what's going on. But have you played with many other drummers?
You mean like live on
Yeah,
stage?
yeah.
Well, no, not really.
really,
No.
eh?
I mean, during drum festivals,
Yeah,
sure,
yeah.
you share the stage, and
Yeah.
sometimes you jam at the
Yeah.
end. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Percussion players in the past,
Excellent.
in bands.
Yeah.
But, I met a lot of famous drummers.
Jojo Mayer, one of them?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I attended when I was studying really hard back in Germany. I met a lot of drummers. Went to all the available workshops
Yeah.
and master classes and
Yeah.
everything. And talking about when I started studying drums, I studied drums at the Yamaha Music Station in Hamburg.
In
back
Hamburg,
then.
yeah.
That was in my early 20s,
Right.
20 or 21 maybe.
Yeah.
And I met a lot of good drummers. I had
Yeah.
some really awesome teachers,
Yeah.
like Jost Nickel,
Yeah.
and some well-known German drummers.
And yeah, Germany is kind of a hotbed for some really, really good drummers. Like there's a lot of great drummers that come out of Germany.
That's right, yeah.
And sort of going off that tangent a little bit, you were recently signed to an endorsement deal with Sonor,
That's right.
which he proudly plays, by the way.
Well, they're made in Germany, aren't they?
Yes, well, yeah, exactly.
It's a great connection.
And it was a lovely scent kit here in what is this, a Galaxy Sparkle, I guess you might call that, or black silver fade.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I chatted earlier and I said, I'm not really a gear
Yeah,
guy. Don't
yeah,
ask me too
yeah,
many
yeah.
details about my kit.
With the Sonor endorsement, obviously you have set yourself up to perform in your studio. What do you look for in a drum set as far as configuration, whatever? But say tuning, the feel of the set. I know you use the is it the ebony Evans or the
on the snare drum?
yeah.
That's an Onyx.
Onyx, the Onyx, yeah,
Onyx
the
at
other side
at
of
the
it.
moment, yeah.
What sounds are you after when you're recording or doing your YouTube channel stuff? What do you look for in the kit?
Well, versatility, I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, the thing with drum and bass is it's such a wide range of frequencies you need
Right.
to deliver.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So I need a really good kick sound.
yeah,
That is really important.
yes,
So it needs to have a lot of punch.
yeah,
For the snare drums, I need some really tight sounds.
yeah,
drum bass. I mean, these. It's just a different approach than like you wouldn't want to use that snare drum right now with that tuning in a rock band.
Right.
It would just not really work.
No, just
Right. So they're high pitched, high tension on the drums, which also a little tip makes it a little bit easier to play drum bass music because you get better rebound.
Rebound, yeah.
I mean, if you look at drum bass music, what they did, especially in the beginning, is they used pre-recorded, drum loops. They sampled off records, and then they sped them up, so the pitch would change.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So with the snare drums, I have to look for that to get into that frequency range.
Right.
I need the high tension. That's why I have the 10-inch additional snare drum there on the left too.
Yeah, and that's another Ascent, and that's
yeah.
The Ascent is a beach shell.
Yeah, that's beechwood. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds very nice. Like I fell in love with the kit right away.
Yeah.
Like I got it right after I think it was the Nanaimo Drum Festival when Chris Sutherland came over,
that's
and
right.
He used the kit for his performance.
Right.
And I put it in my truck right after. Thanks, Chris.
Yeah. And Scott. Thanks, Scott.
And Scott.
One of the things I love about Sonor, especially, is their hardware on their kits. But and I had actually a tech tell me this, that the lug system itself, the no slip lug system, which I can attest to. I had a Force 3007 for a couple of years as a practice kit, and you almost can't make these lugs slip. Which is I would imagine for you is kind of nice because you want to know that's where it's going to stay all night. Yeah. Right.
So you're talking about detuning.
Yeah, detuning and
that's right. I haven't noticed any of that since I play the kit.
Yeah.
And I'm hitting pretty hard.
I would imagine. Yeah. For sure.
I'm a rim shot.
Yeah.
I try to play with. Well, I mean, if you look at my live set, hopefully someday you will have the chance to come out.
Yeah. And
watch it. It's extremely intense.
Yeah.
All right. It means like I never stop. I'm not playing a song and then I drop the beat and then I get 30-second rest or something like you would have in pop and rock music. My performance is like a DJ performance, so the music never stops.
Right. Yeah.
Depending on the gig, sometimes I have to play shorter gigs if it's a festival gig or something.
Right.
But if it's a club gig, I go for an hour and a half usually.
Wow.
That means I play straight.
Yeah.
For an hour and a half. I try to play hard and intense
all the time.
But that's tough to do if you play for an hour and a half
without
even stopping.
Yeah. The gas tank eventually empties.
Yeah. So there's a lot of rim shots involved.
Yeah.
Just to get that
sound.
Nice sounding.
And the drums
tracking.
hold up, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. Well, I haven't had any issues with Sonor drums. I mean, I'm really extremely excited and proud to be connected with Sonor drums nowadays because, I grew up in Germany and, like I said, that basement room back then with my first drum kit, that was plastered with Sonor posters.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I mean, it was back in Germany back then.
Yeah.
We didn't have that many drum companies around back then.
Right.
Too,
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you grow up, it's like being a Canadian and you got the Sabian singles.
Right.
It's
exactly.
just there everywhere and.
Yeah.
Sonor was very present, and I always dreamed of owning a Sonor kit.
Yeah.
Like in the first, I don't know, maybe 15 years or something from playing. As a kid, I looked at these awesome kits, and back then I couldn't really afford them. And, I'm extremely happy with the kit and the connection with Sonor. They're very supportive.
Yeah. And then your other endorsement is the Supernatural Cymbals.
That's right. Yeah.
They're a unique company. A newer company, I guess you could say. You said they're based out of Turkey, or they're made in Turkey.
Yeah, they're handcrafted in Istanbul.
Okay, yeah. And there's Florida connection there with the warehouse.
That's right, and also Sacramento.
Sacramento office, yeah. What the look of these things? They're really really unique looking cymbals.
Maybe hold up.
Yeah, they look incredible, and
Yeah.
they probably sound even more incredible.
Yeah.
What? How did you get hooked up with Supernaturals?
Well, that came through another endorsement I have.
Okay.
I'm endorsing a product made by Eccentric Systems.
Okay.
They're based in San Diego.
Great.
The Quick Torque Cam,
Okay.
which is like a spring arm thing you can use on your bass drum pedal.
Gotcha.
It works on almost every bass drum pedal on
Yeah.
the market. They're holding the patents for the DW pedals. So
okay.
They are. It's just an awesome feature because it. They when they contacted me and they sent me the Quick Talk Cam. I told them, okay, I'm going to try them out, and then I was in here and I just put it on, and then at the very moment the rep actually phoned me and I said, so I was really excited. What do you think? What do you think? I said, well, I'm right in the middle of it. I'm going to call you back, okay?
Yeah.
And then I put it on. I replaced it with the old spring arm I had.
Yeah.
Put it on, played for like a couple of minutes, and I was like, oh, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
And then I said, but I have to do the test of putting on the old arm or again.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Put on the original spring arm, hit it maybe 2 more times, and I was like, okay, I get it. Put on the Quick Talk Cam again, and haven't looked back since. It's just well, we can't really see it from here, but it's such an awesome design. It just makes the feel much smoother
Right.
on your pedal.
Yeah.
I can't really explain it, and I haven't had the chance to go down to San Diego and actually look at the factory and meet those guys.
Yeah.
But they claim it makes your pedal faster by I think 15 or 20% maybe.
Oh, wow.
And I think they're pretty dead on.
Bang on with that.
Plus the feeling, it's such a smooth feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the pedal comes back, I love them. And they happen to have a booth at NAMM right next to the booth of Supernaturals.
Okay.
So these guys know each other, and Supernatural approached them about looking for some endorsees.
Right.
And then I think that's how
you hooked
that
up.
came
Yeah.
together.
How many lines? I know you're not a huge drum geek guy. The types of cymbals you're using, the hand hammering / lathe look.
Yeah.
What line is that, and what do they have a lot of lines? Or?
Yeah, they have. I think if I'm not mistaken, 13 or 14 different lines.
Wow.
Yeah. And I haven't had a chance to test them all.
Right.
But from what they have some really nicely produced YouTube videos out there, like a lot of them, where they present all the cymbals.
Gotcha.
And they all sound incredible, I think. Yeah. I always liked those handcrafted cymbals.
Yes.
That was always for me was the way to go. I've been playing other brands before, like Istanbul cymbals, kind of lines, and it was always the look and the sound, like the combination of both.
Both, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
They're definitely not cymbals just like off the shelf. Like
right. Yeah. Yeah, they definitely don't sound like they're off.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They're a very specific skill set you're kind of looking for here.
Yeah, and these Revelation, this is called the Revelation series.
Okay.
They have a pretty dark sound.
Yeah.
So might not suit everybody, but like I said, they have so many different lines. They have a line specifically made for gospel drummers, for example.
Oh wow!
Those sound really awesome.
Yeah.
I hope. Well, they invited me to come down to the next NAMM show and perform down there.
Oh, excellent!
And I hope I can make it and then have a chance actually to test all what they have.
You get to play.
They look and sound really nice.
Yeah. So speaking of things coming up, what do you have on the go? What can your viewers look forward to in the near future on YouTube, and where are you performing?
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, I'm always producing videos for my YouTube channel. Even if I'm very busy, I always try to tape maybe at least once a week.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's tough.
it's a challenge. Yeah,
It's a challenge,
Yeah.
but I got so much support from the YouTube community over the last years that I just don't want to miss out on future videos. I just want to keep it going. So that's always happening, and then I have gigs. I got some local gigs here down in Victoria.
Yep.
Next month I got a couple. Then up the island, like we're located here on Vancouver Island.
Yep.
I got some gigs. Yeah, that project with Florian. He's here in Canada right now, playing at the Montreal Drum Fest.
Yes.
Really excited about that.
Excellent.
That will hopefully happen next month.
Yep.
When he's back. He was kind of busy the last few weeks.
Okay.
But we're working on it. I'm working on 2 new drum books.
Excellent.
That keeps me pretty busy.
Yeah.
Um,
And when are just in production right now? Obviously.
Well, the books are. All the ideas are there.
Yes.
It's all written down, handwritten down.
Gotcha.
So I need to sit down and put it in a book form. That's going to take a few months.
And the concept, kind of a layman's abbreviated version, would be.
Well, it's just my approach to drumming.
Okay.
I think that the whole drum and bass thing and everything that builds up on it. It's let's say it's a combination of drum and bass and jazz.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So there's lots of left hand action in there.
Oh, good. Yeah. And where can viewers find you online?
Well, I'm on Facebook for sure.
Okay.
My Facebook page is called Ydna Murd Drum DJ.
Okay.
My YouTube channel is called Jungle Ritter. It's a combination of an English word and a German word. You just go on YouTube or you type in my name anywhere you go, like even on Google and YouTube, Facebook, whatever. Just type in Ydna Murd and you're gonna
And then, of course, ydnamurd.com, which is...
it's...
there's not as much there, but you can link to other...
Yeah, my website is actually called drumgate.com.
Oh, Drumgate.
So
Right, okay.
you're not going to find ydnamurd.com, but drumgate.com. That's my website. I don't update it too much, so it has like... you can order my books there and play along CDs and songs I've produced. All this kind of stuff, but for most recent updates, definitely Facebook is the way to go at the moment. Yeah.
Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for coming out, Sean. That's awesome.
Black Page viewers, if you enjoyed that little chat, you can +1, tweet it, share it with your friends. Comments are below. If you've got a question for Ydna, feel free to shoot them away, and he'll definitely answer them. He's a very smart fella. And we'll see you next time.